let's get started with our first news story. The MMA community reacts to the epic showdown between Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier, a main event that truly delivered on the hype. This was a back-and-forth war that lived up to fans' expectations, and then some. The fight was an absolute battle filled with grit, heart, and raw emotion, everything that defines the sport of mixed martial arts. From the opening bell, the pace was relentless. Holloway came out sharp, managing to get the upper hand in the early exchanges with his signature volume striking and clean combinations. But just when it looked like he might be pulling ahead decisively, the Diamond reminded everyone why he's one of the toughest and most dangerous fighters on the roster. Poirier battled back with fury. He scored a crucial knockdown and had his own stellar moments in the cage, showing resilience and pure warrior spirit. The fight saw momentum swings, explosive exchanges, and moments where both men looked like they could take over. It was chaotic, yet technical, brutal, yet beautiful. A classic example of why this sport captivates millions. However, after 25 grueling minutes of non-stop action, the result became clear. Holloway had done just enough. His output, pressure, and ability to withstand Poirier's power earned him a much-deserved unanimous decision victory. For many fans, it was not just a fight, it was an instant classic. What made this moment even more emotional was the possibility that this was Poirier's final fight. The MMA world responded with overwhelming love and respect. Some of the sport's biggest names poured in heartfelt tributes, showing the kind of admiration only a true warrior earns. In a since-deleted tweet, Conor McGregor said, "We love a good scrapper in the company, and those two boys are just that, scrappers. Awesome stuff. Great fight, lads. Bravo. RAP ahead." Jon Jones shared his thoughts too, tweeting, "Congratulations on an amazing career, Dustin. Thank you for the years of entertainment. Now go enjoy your retirement." He added, "Dustin's performance was incredible. He still has it, but walking away on his own terms is powerful. That should be normalized. Tired of seeing legends leave broken." Belal Muhammad was also emotional, tweeting, "What a fight. I hate to see you go, Dustin. Paid in full. Legend." Islam Makhachev honored him by saying, "Congratulations, Dustin. One of the greatest to ever enter the cage. Honored to have shared it with you." Jorge Masvidal wrote, "Congrats on an awesome career, Dustin. Thanks for the good times, brother. You've earned your piece." Derek Brunson added, "Dope way to finish a fight and a career. Respect." Rafael Dos Anjos chimed in with, "What a great fight. Happy retirement." Timba Gorimbo simply said, "Legend. Diamonds are forever." Even Jason Mayhem Miller kept it real, tweeting, "Who cares who won that really?" Ilia Topuria posted a pic of the BMF belt, captioned, "Still mine." This wasn't just a fight, it was a moment in MMA history. Moving on to our second story, Dustin Poirier is not happy with the judges' scorecards following his UFC 318 clash against Max Holloway. During the post-fight press conference, Poirier didn't hold back. He openly expressed his frustration and disappointment with how the judges scored the fight. According to him, the bout felt much closer than what the official numbers showed. Many fans too were surprised by the one-sided scorecards, with some even arguing that the fight was razor-thin going into the 5th round. And Poirier agrees. "Yeah, man, obviously I wanted to win," Poirier said. "Max is a great fighter, a tough competitor. I just felt like being inside the eye of the storm. It was a lot closer than people think. I really thought it was 2 rounds apiece going into the 5th. He went on to explain that once he returned to the locker room, his coach Mike Brown looked over the judges' scorecards, and that's when things got even more confusing. "I think the judges gave me different rounds," Poirier said. "I think all of them gave him the 2nd round. But I swear, man, I thought I almost had him out in that round. He hurt me, yeah, but when I fired back and followed up with those elbows, I was cracking him." According to Dustin, even Holloway acknowledged just how close things were during a conversation with the medical team backstage. "He told me, straight up, 'Man, you had me out. We couldn't even hear the bell.' That tells you a lot. Being in there, fighting through those exchanges, it felt like I had him in real trouble. And then I hear the score 49 something. I was like, no way. That didn't reflect what happened in there. Not even close." It's clear Poirier believes that he put up a far stronger fight than the judges gave him credit for, and considering how many fans, analysts, and even fellow fighters question the scorecards, he's not alone. But beyond the scorecards, there's one moment everyone is talking about, the guillotine attempt. In the fight, Poirier had Holloway visibly hurt and stumbled. Instead of continuing to strike, he jumped into a guillotine choke, a risky move that ultimately allowed Holloway to recover and escape the danger. Many wondered if that decision cost him the round or even the fight. When asked if he regretted going for the submission, Poirier was firm. "Nah, never," he said. "I had to go for one last one. And damn, I really thought that was gonna be the one, man. I had him hurt bad. He rolled to his back and I tried to lock it in, but I just couldn't control him." That decision, while bold, may go down as one of the key turning points in a fight that Poirier thought he could have won. In the end, Dustin Poirier fought his heart out, and whether you agree with the scorecards or not, one thing is clear: the man went out swinging. Now moving on to another major headline, Dana White crashes Jon Jones's White House comeback dream. Jon Jones had big ambitions for what he wanted to be his final fight, and not just any ordinary UFC venue. Jones had his eyes set on the most iconic location in America, the White House lawn. This wasn't some rumor or offhand comment, it was a serious pitch from Jones, who envisioned closing out his legendary and controversial career with a historic super fight in front of the nation's capital. This idea didn't come out of nowhere. Dana White himself had previously referred to Jon Jones as a dream headliner, stirring even more speculation about whether such a monumental event could actually happen. To add fuel to the fire, Conor McGregor was also reportedly interested in fighting on the same card. The concept of two of the sport's biggest stars, Jones and McGregor, potentially appearing at a White House-hosted UFC event was nothing short of blockbuster. But reality came crashing down. Speaking to the media following UFC 318, Dana White made it clear that the Jones dream was likely just that, a dream. Despite acknowledging Jones's greatness inside the cage, White explained that there are deeper concerns that prevent him from confidently placing Jones in such a high-profile, high-risk spotlight. A reporter asked, "Jon Jones says he wants to be on there too, and he says he would fight whoever the champion is at that time. Would you be okay with that?" Dana responded candidly, "It's not even about him winning the belt. You know how I feel about him. I just can't risk putting him in big positions and have something go wrong." That one sentence says everything. Over the years, Jon Jones has had a roller coaster career, one filled with brilliance, but also chaos. From failed drug tests, suspensions, arrests, and multiple out-of-cage incidents, Jones's reputation has always walked the line between genius and volatile. And for an event as symbolically powerful as one hosted on the White House lawn, the UFC simply can't afford a last-minute scandal or unpredictable behavior. Dana wrapped up his thoughts with a firm statement: "Fair enough, especially the White House card." It's a brutal dose of reality for Jones, who despite his achievements continues to be shadowed by his past. And even though fans would love to see him in one final fight, especially in such an iconic setting, Dana White has made it clear the risk outweighs the reward. Whether or not Jones ever gets that perfect farewell remains uncertain, but for now it looks like his White House super fight fantasy has been officially shut down. On to the next story. Paulo Costa sends a message to Khamzat Chimaev after his UFC 318 victory. Paulo Costa is officially back, and he made sure the whole division knew it. The Brazilian middleweight came into UFC 318 with a point to prove, and he delivered a performance that reminded fans of his early, explosive rise in the UFC. Facing Roman Kopylov in the co-main event, Costa showcased the raw power and aggressive style that once made him one of the most feared contenders in the middleweight division. From the opening bell, Costa put relentless pressure on Kopylov, using a combination of powerful body kicks, snapping leg kicks, and clean boxing combinations. Costa broke down his opponent with methodical violence. His forward movement never stopped, and he consistently walked Kopylov down, chopping at his legs and ribs with brutal kicks that echoed through the arena. The fight's pace was set entirely by Costa, and it quickly became clear that Kopylov was struggling to keep up. In the second round, Costa nearly ended it. He landed a vicious shot that dropped Kopylov to the canvas, sending the crowd into a frenzy. Costa immediately pounced, swarming him with punches and elbows, but somehow, Kopylov managed to survive. Credit goes to the Russian for his heart and toughness, but the damage was already done. The momentum had completely swung in Costa's favor. By the time the final horn sounded, there was no doubt about the winner. The judges scored it 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28, all in favor of Costa. It was a clean, dominant win, and more importantly, a clear statement that Costa is still a serious contender in the division. But Costa wasn't done making noise. After the win, he took the mic and sent a fiery message straight to the man he's been circling for years, Khamzat Chimaev. "I'm back, mother," Costa shouted, pausing only to flash his signature smirk. "Hey, Gome Chain, you can hide as much as you want in your cave. I bring you from there." The crowd erupted, knowing full well the heat that exists between Costa and Chimaev. The two have been linked to a potential clash several times, but for various reasons, injuries, timing, and fight cancellations, the matchup has never materialized. But now, Costa is healthy, sharp, and motivated, and he wants that fight. Referring to Khamzat as Gome Chain, Costa mocked Chimaev's absence and accused him of avoiding a real challenge. The message wasn't just for the fans, it was a direct challenge to the UFC matchmakers as well. Costa wants that fight next, and he made that crystal clear. Costa's win at UFC 318 not only put him back in the win column, but also reignited interest in one of the most highly anticipated grudge matches in the middleweight division. Whether Khamzat answers the call remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, Paulo Costa is back, and he's coming for war. Let's move on to the next news. Alex Pereira kicked out of a karate combat event. UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira, known for his intense fight style and stone-cold demeanor inside the cage, also has a surprisingly humorous side that he occasionally shares with fans online. Recently, he took to social media to post a short clip that stirred up quite a bit of buzz, a video showing him being kicked out of a karate combat event. In the clip, Pereira appears to be escorted out by event staff or security personnel. The footage, which spread rapidly across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, shows Pereira calmly leaving the venue with a confused but amused look on his face. The video was short and lacked context, which only added to the confusion. Was it real? Was it a prank? Fans weren't sure what to make of it. Some fans immediately picked up on the comedic undertone and assumed the video was staged, most likely a joke or skit put together by Pereira himself. Those familiar with his recent content know that he's been embracing more lighthearted, playful moments on social media. The idea of a UFC champion, especially someone with Pereira's fearsome reputation, getting kicked out of a martial arts event felt so bizarre it had to be a joke. However, not everyone took it that way. A portion of the fan base was genuinely confused, unsure whether Pereira had broken any event rules or gotten into a real altercation backstage. The video's lack of explanation sparked debates in the comment sections, with fans asking for context, tagging Karate Combat's official accounts, and speculating about what actually happened. So far, neither Karate Combat nor Pereira has clarified whether the incident was real or just for laughs, but the general consensus is that it was all for entertainment. Regardless, it's another example of Pereira staying in the spotlight, both in and outside the octagon, and keeping fans talking. Now to our final news story. Max Holloway calls out Ilia Topuria in a super awkward interview moment that quickly went viral. During a Spanish-language interview, Max Holloway and the host shared what might be one of the most uncomfortable silences in MMA media history. For more than 30 seconds, the two simply stared at the camera, completely silent, with visible tension in the air. The situation left fans watching at home confused, amused, and secondhand embarrassed all at once. Despite the cringe-worthy atmosphere, Max Holloway didn't waste the opportunity. Once the interview picked back up, the former featherweight king made his intentions clear. He wants a rematch with Ilia Topuria. "I've got unfinished business with the champ," Holloway stated confidently. And judging by his body language and tone, Max isn't just throwing names around. He looks focused, motivated, and hungry to prove that he still belongs at the very top. Let's not forget, Max Holloway is coming off a massive win over Dustin Poirier. That victory, paired with his knockout of Justin Gaethje, has skyrocketed his stock in the lightweight division. Both Poirier and Gaethje are certified killers, and Max beat them in back-to-back performances. He's looking like a man reborn at 155 pounds. But here's the reality check. Right now, the MMA world isn't buzzing for Topuria versus Holloway 2. Instead, fans and analysts are speculating about more marketable or legacy-defining matchups. There's talk of Ilia Topuria taking on Paddy Pimblett, a clash that could generate massive numbers due to Paddy's fanbase and star power. Others want to see Topuria tested against a top-tier technician like Arman Tsarukyan, a bout that promises to be a high-level chess match in the octagon. And then, of course, there's the elephant in the room, a potential champion versus champion showdown between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. UFC President Dana White has already acknowledged that he's interested in making that fight happen. It's not a matter of if, but when. Still, Max Holloway isn't fazed. He knows where he stands and what he brings to the table. In the interview, Max said, "Oh, we'll see what happens. I've got history with the undisputed champ. I've got history with the guy the undisputed champ just beat. There's a lot of fun fights for me up here. It's in the UFC's court." Holloway finished the segment with gratitude for his supporters, addressing some controversy over previous comments during fight week. To wrap things up, one of the desk commentators added a final thought that perfectly captured Max's mindset. "If I do what he did to me, be the first man to do it, of course. I want revenge." Whether the UFC gives Holloway that shot or not, one thing is clear, he's not done yet.